Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this midweek live session. All right, okay, so I'm going to talk about something that isn't my favourite topic to kind of talk about, but I've had a lot. Hi, Duchess. I am saying thank you for being here, Kevin. But this week has seen an increase in emails and messages that I've got because there have been some developments on the Everfx side. Just to give you guys some background, just so that if people arrive in the comment section and watch this a bit later on, you can't hear me. Give me 1 second, you guys. Let me see if I can fix this. Let's see.
Is that better, guys? Let me know. That should be better now. If not, let me know. Yeah, this should be better. So let me know in the comments and we can much better. Perfect. Excellent. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to talk about this evening is for UK people only. So if you've kind of come across this on searches on YouTube and you're watching this back because this is a live stream and you're not in the UK, then completely disregard everything that I say in this video. This is for people who are based in the UK and in the UK only. Now, many of you will know that there has been one company that I have been very critical of in terms of being very upfront, in terms of sharing my views around whether this company is legit or not. I've had quite a lot of backlash, people telling me that I'm an idiot, people telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, even though I have a lot of experience in the industry. And this week I've had a ton of messages on LinkedIn, funny enough as well, and emails to my email address asking me to comment on some of the updates this week. Well, actually, since the May 14th, but it only came to my attention on Monday. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to basically run you guys through what has changed, some of the news that is, oh my God, Kevin, don't, that's going to ruin my evening. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, that's not good at all. I'm not watching it purposefully because I can't deal with the nerves with that. But anyway, so some updates. So as you know, Everfx and CashFX were apparent partners in their proposition that they sell to the UK market. Now, I've been a member of CashFX myself, and I find them to be questionable, to say the least. And I've made videos to kind of give my rationale around that, so on and so forth. And one of the big rebuttals that many people have basically been given, regardless of whether they feel that I'm right or wrong, and I'm right, I will always maintain that, is the CashFX do not need any regulation here in the UK because their broker, Everfx, are regulated by the FCA. Now, I've put out there before that is false. Yes, Everfx are regulated or were regulated in the UK. However, CashFX needed regulation of their own and authorities of their own because of a couple of things. So client money, handling client money. When you open your account with CashFX, you send them Bitcoin. Because they're receiving funds, they have to be registered in order to receive funds and handle client money for customers. Also because they are marketing to the UK population, be that indirectly, but it's still marketing nonetheless. So those are just a couple of reasons why I said that, CashFX as a business needs to be regulated here in the UK. And ever since I made my first video last year, at that point, they probably only had maybe 12 or so regulatory warnings globally. They now have 20. And thankfully now in the UK, the regulator here has started to take action and has started to kind of, pull their weight as you would expect them to as the UK regulator. So what I'm going to do in this video is in this live session I'm going to talk you through what has happened with Everfx now. Then I'll talk a little bit about what I think that means for CashFX. And look, if you're watching this and you have money with CashFX, or you've been approached by CashFX and they've been trying to persuade you to put in 300 quid to see how it goes, there are big ramifications for CashFX here in the UK. This pretty much bottlenecks their entire business here in the UK. So on a number of videos, I've shown you guys the FCA website. I'm going to take you guys through the FCA website, and I'm going to take you through what I found, what has been updated on the FCA register when it comes to Everfx. I'm going to explain the fine points that you need to know if you're thinking about using CashFX. And number two, if you already have money with CashFX, because I would imagine you would have got an email or should have received an email around the fact that Everfx can no longer act as their broker. And that does raises serious questions about how the business actually continues and what happens to your holdings with them. Will they continue to pay out? Well, with this, no, because this is a big deal. So I'm just going to share my screen. And by the way, before anybody starts jumping on their high horse saying, well, you know, you're making this up, I will encourage you to go onto register.fca.org.uk and go and do all of this yourself so that you can verify this information. I am not making this up. This is in the public domain now. So by all means, do your own research and make sure that what I'm saying is absolutely spot on. So this is the FCA website. Now, when you go down to the register, which is this section right here, I'm just going to pop in here, Everfx. It's already there because I looked at it earlier today. And you need to click firms and you go search. Now, Everfx are registered as a business as ICC Intercertis Capital Limited, okay? Also known as everfx.ue. Now, they had temporary permissions. Now, let me just explain what that basically meant. Since Brexit, and this will be something that they will say we are registered and passporting into the UK. So since Brexit, all companies that are based in Europe have had temporary permissions, passporting to operate under the purview of the Financial Conduct Authority to operate for their given task or given business here in the UK. It's called a temporary permission. A temporary permission does not mean that they are fully regulated. It's simply temporary permissions for them to operate over the period of time whilst Brexit is taking hold and to coming into effect. And shortly after that, they will then go for full regulation. So all this time, Everfx has had temporary permissions this entire time. Now, when you click this, it's going to take you to this screen right here, which is basically a bit more. So as you're going to see here, and again, go and Google this yourself, guys. This is on the FCA register. I'm doing this live so that nobody can say that I've made this up in any way, shape, or form. It says here, this firm must not market to UK consumers. They are no longer permitted to market or perform any regulatory or regulated activities here in the UK. Regulated activities means investments, trading, stock markets, Forex, anything. They are not allowed to do anything in the UK anymore. So we have taken, it says here, we have taken action to limit this firm's temporary permission so that it must not market to persons resident in the UK or carry on regulated activities for clients resident in the UK. Further details in the restriction section below. So let's go and have a look at it. So what does it say here? It says suspensions. We click here. And again, go and check this out yourself. So this was updated on May 14th. That was last week, guys. And it says required not to conduct regulated activities. Let's click on more information because this is really, really important. Now, the FCA, when they take these kind of actions, they are always very, very clear on what they expect a business to do. Now, these are essentially the bits that they are expecting this business to basically do, some of which they've already complied with. So, for example, this fourth option here, it says by 17th of May 2021, the firm must display on its trading platform at the point when clients log into the trading platform a notice of such size and prominence that all users seeking to log into the trading platform will inevitably see and be able to read it, which states ICC Intercertis Capital Limited, trading as Everfx, is not permitted to provide regulated financial services to residents of the United Kingdom. This is their website right now. Now, many people will argue whether this is sufficiently visible because it's at the top. I almost missed it, but it is there. They have put the exact wording in there. So it tells you that they are complying with what the regulator here in the UK is asking them to do. Now, let's just go back very quickly to this, because the main point on this, or things that they have asked them to do that I really want to highlight, is actually all the way down here. So is it clause 7? Here we go. So clause 7. So it is saying by 3 p.m. British Standard Time on May 21st, which was 5 days ago, in respect of all its clients who are resident in the United Kingdom, the firm must close all open trading positions and liquidate the positions into pounds sterling balances, save for hedge positions which should be netted off rather than closed individually. Now, if you are with CashFX and you've been using Everfx as the broker, right? And I've for a long time have questioned whether the relationship between CashFX and Everfx was legitimate. There have been literally articles that people have said have been fake, have been made up, right? But they have persisted to say that they have a relationship with Everfx. If you are using Bitcoin, this clause does not apply for what CashFX has employed them to do. It is not a hedged position. It is not a hedged product. It is completely irrelevant. If any of them come out and start saying, well, we have hedged positions in your Forex trading via Bitcoin, which makes no sense, then they are absolutely lying. Any positive cash balance that's held by a client resident in the UK must be paid to a bank or payment account held in the client's name as soon as practicable, and in any event by the 1st of June 2021. Now, this is the issue that you have with CashFX, and that issue is that when you deposit your money with them, you do so in Bitcoin. Then that money then goes over to Everfx. Now, I've always questioned that typically, if you were investing money with Hargreaves Lansdown or anybody, they will have an account, a segregated account for you. I've always questioned where the pool of money that is apparently traded goes to, because this specifically says here that it has to be paid to a bank account or an account held in the client's name. Most of you, if you've used CashFX, have not got an account that is specifically dedicated to you for your cash balances. It all comes out of a large account that accumulates and holds the accumulation of the funds that are supposedly traded. So this is a big, big question in terms of how they're going to operate moving forward. I wanted to put this out here because, again, I've said it the entire time. They need regulation. Now the FCA has started to really take a look at this. And to be honest, I think they're doing this a little bit more broadly with companies that are offering either Forex or crypto trading services as a whole, and they just happen to fall within this category. Now, I did speak with the FCA earlier this week. I spoke to them yesterday, actually, and they actually have an intelligence team literally monitoring Everfx. There are other people who are also following this story who actually said that they've spoken to the FCA, and one of the reasons why they've taken this action quite swiftly with Everfx is because of the connection with CashFX. I'm not saying that. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying what is already out there at this point in time. So I wanted to update this because this is a big bit of news. If you're holding money in a CashFX right now, I don't know what this will basically mean for the forward operation of that business. I hope that if you have money with them, this doesn't mean that basically you go at a loss at this point in time, because of the volume and the troubles that they've had recently with Bitcoin. I mean, even in on some of my videos, I'm seeing more recently now that people are saying that payouts are taking longer and longer and longer. Some of these payouts are now taking 15 days, whereas they were saying it's weekly without fail. Now they're having real struggles with this. And I question if this has been happening over the last 15 days, whether this has had anything to do with it. I would hazard a guess to say that it is. And it has had an impact on their payouts, so on and so forth. So I don't really know what's going to be happening moving forward. As far as I can see, I think this puts an end to the UK arm of the business, because if they have been using Everfx, like everyone's been saying, for copy trading and social trading and all this nonsense, then Everfx are no longer able to provide that service. All of that money will be disinvested. All of that money should be paid back to the individual people within the CashFX teams who hold accounts. How this will work moving forward, I have no idea. I have not heard anything internally from any of the groups. I spoke with Rue, who was also on my channel, where we spoke about them retaining client money and closing accounts if people ask questions. He's not really heard much internally. I think they've gone a little bit quiet. But to be honest, I've not really gone hunting for answers. But I saw this, I received some emails, and I thought, I've looked into it. I'm going to share what I've found. Again, go to the FCA register and go check this out yourself. If you know people who are invested in this already, I would be asking them what news they're getting out of CashFX right now, because I honestly don't know how they're going to continue with the business with their broker no longer able to operate within the UK. That business no longer stacks up, which it begs the question that I've always asked, that are they traded in the first place? If they are, they're scuppered. If they are able to survive this magically, then it means that all along they haven't been trading. Rue's been saying this for a while. He's actually put another video out, I believe it was yesterday or so. They now have 20 regulatory warnings across the country, across the world now, 20. And even a couple of weeks ago, I got a message on Instagram from one of the regulators, the SMV in Panama, who are the regulators in Panama. They now have a dedicated team of investigators actually investigating the business out in Panama. They have a regulatory warning out against them in Panama. So I have to ask you this. If you are invested with CashFX and you're taking advantage of this opportunity, are all of these regulatory countries, well, 15 of them altogether, because Canada has 5 warnings within its territory, are all of these 15 countries full of just BS then? Are they doing it to prevent you from making money, like legitimately? Because the UK has now made moves. I would think that other countries are also going to make moves to this effect, which means that this whole opportunity no longer becomes viable. I just hope to God that nobody has got a lot of money in this that ends up losing money. And I'm going to say this again, because I said this right from the beginning when they tried to recruit me to promote this on my channel, where my channel was much, much smaller. I would never, ever, ever promote anything that I feel is, number one, not legit, not 100% kosher, or has any possibility of falling through just because there's Ponzi, scam, or anything like that associated with it. If it feels like it to me, I'm not going to promote it. And for me, I'm not going to do that because I would hate for anybody to come to me in the future and be like, well, you told me to do this, I've now lost my money. That's not my bag. And I hope that anybody who has invited people into CashFX, I hope this doesn't put anybody at financial, I wouldn't say ruin, because that's maybe a little bit too harsh, but at a financial disadvantage, losing $300 and or 500 or £1,000 or 3,000 or 10,000, whatever. I just hope that it doesn't. And I have to question that, if you've been part of this whole scheme, inviting people in, and you've been completely, like, I would almost say intentionally blind to this, you really, really need to think about yourself, think about what you've actually done. Because I would hate to have invited anybody, friend, family, whoever, and these are the people that they've been targeting. Oh, invite your friends, invite your family. I've had so many emails of people who have been within this group who have sat in on tactics meetings saying, oh, get your friend to do this and to get two legs underneath you. So husband and wife should do an account each, then do accounts for their children. And it's never just 300 quid. It's 300 quid. Oh, then it goes up to 1,000. Then it goes up to 3,000. Then it goes to 10,000. These tactics that people are feeling very, very uncomfortable with until today, never answering the questions that Rue, and a lot of other people on YouTube have been asking. Simple questions. Now this has happened. So if anybody's been involved with this, I really, really do think that, I don't know. I'm just reporting the news. This has just happened. I came on my radar on Monday. I'm going to have a look at the comment sections because I'm sure that we might have some fans in here of CashFX spouting some absolute nonsense. And again, if you are in this group and you do want to have your say, I will post the link so that you can actually join me. And by all means, feel free to put your side of the story across. But this is not going to end well. And you know what? The regulator here in the UK sometimes does take its time, but at least this time they've actually done something about this absolute nonsense. Absolute fucking nonsense. And people have told me, given me abuse for months, telling me that I'm wrong, telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I would love to hear all of you now. John Lister, I would love to hear all of you now that this has happened. I would love to hear your explanation of how you feel CashFX are going to survive now that the FCA have made this move on your broker that even though I've questioned you have no relationship with, you have been adamant is your partner. Well, that partner is no more. That partner can no longer operate or provide any regulated services here in the UK. So how does the scheme now continue to stack up and operate? Please do let me know in the comment section below, because I would love to hear the utter nonsense that they're going to be spewing now. I cannot wait. And again, I'll say this, I've said this before, I'll say it again. If I'm wrong about any of this, I will happily do a video in 6 months or months or 12 months time and say, look, I was wrong. All right, maybe they have done something. And I'll say this again because I've said this right from the beginning. This would all just be so much more legitimate and so much more kosher if CashFX just got regulated. If they just did the basic stuff that they should do, register a business, have every individual that is behind that business vetted, so we know where you are, who you are, on record, then you will be legitimate. But all this time, you refuse to do that. You refuse to do it under the guise of Everfx are our brokers. We don't need to worry. There we go. No proof of trading. I've said this before. No proof of trading. You cannot provide proof of trading. Oh, now, what? You said that you've been trading via Everfx. Not anymore, you can't. So how does this all stack up? And if it does continue to operate, it shows that they were never trading in the first place. Ever. So one of two things are going to happen here, guys. Either it crashes because Everfx can no longer operate, or it continues, and that then proves the point that they weren't trading in the first place. That's facts. Factual stuff. I'm going to have a look at the comments because I am so interested to see what people are saying. So bear with me, guys. Let me just pop this in quick. Right, let's have a look at this nonsense right here. Isaac, you're talking absolute nonsense, mate. Their premier broker in the UK has always been Everfx, okay? That is the one that has been on their website for God knows how long. This is Pablo Milan that they keep parading about, re-uploading a video that they had from 3 years ago, again in January this year, because my video was really, really popular on Google and on YouTube when I made it back in October or November or something like that. Re-uploaded. Where's Pablo now? I asked Pablo a question via LinkedIn probably about 6 months ago, and he goes, I can't answer that. I'm just an employee of the business. Couldn't answer a very simple question. So you're talking absolute nonsense, mate. And show us proof of those five other brokers that they're using. I would love to see it. And I apologize if I'm getting on my high horse. Actually, you know what? I don't apologize if I'm getting on my high horse, because at the end of the day, people have been so vile in the comment section of all of my videos about CashFX, all of them. People have been really, really vile. And this is where I continue, and I will confidently state everything that I've stated, because now the regulator has had a look at it. And people will say, oh, who's the regulator? The FCA isn't anything. Well, guess what? They are very, very powerful, and they are the ones that keep your money safe, regardless of what you think about them. Let's have a look and see. What else do we have here? It's absolutely laughable. 5 brokers now. Of course they are. Disclose who they are. This is an interesting one. And this is the kind of stuff that we're saying. It doesn't start with £300 or 300 of your local currency. It always gets bigger and bigger and bigger. They have a warning out in Sweden. And if anybody hasn't watched Rue's video, go and watch Rue's video, because he literally outlines every single one of those 20 regulatory warnings in his latest video. I will see if I can actually pop a link in the description to that video so people can go and watch this. Again, do your own due diligence, do your own research, make sure that you are happy with your decision. I'm not telling anybody to use them or not to use them. I'm just thinking that you need to know your facts before you go and put your money into something that potentially is a scam. And I don't use that word lightly, but it is true. It is really, really true. And I think we need to be mindful of that. This is the link to Rue's video, which he uploaded a couple of days ago. If anybody is, unsure about what we're talking about, go and check out that video. He outlines all 20 regulatory warnings, all 20 of them, including one in Panama as well. Let's see what else we've got here. The funny thing is, there is a comment on my YouTube channel on one of the videos that I made, and the comment was, "It's not CashFX fault if people lose their money." And this is from someone who obviously is within there and supports them. How much of a nonchalant statement is that? It's not their fault if you lose money. If they provide you the program or the facility in which you use to invest, and you lose money because you use that, it is their fault. It absolutely is their fault. And it just shows the disregard that people have. Other people saying, well, 300 quid isn't, life savings. Well, that's all relative. That depends on where you come from. That depends on where you are right now. £300 is not a lot of money to a lot of people, but it is a lot of money to some people. And that just shows you that people don't actually care. They don't care about you. They're just interested in getting your £300, because if they can get £300 from 10,000 people, that is a lot of money. And that's all they're concerned about. They're talking about it's a legacy business and they want to enrich people. They don't give a damn about you as people. They're interested in your money and the people that you can introduce into the scheme to keep it going perpetually. That's what they're interested in. And you can see that in the comments and some of the conversations, and the fact that they just blatantly disregard people asking legitimate, honest questions, telling their people not to Google stuff, not to believe people like me who make videos. A couple of guys have made videos on me, trying to ridicule me, telling me that I've made £250,000 from my YouTube videos. It's like they live on a completely different planet. They attack me for having a £60, a $59.99 investment course here on YouTube to help first-time investors actually learn how the stock market works, the basics. They attack me for that. If this was a legitimate company, they would answer legitimate questions, and proudly so. They would take pride in doing that. They would take diligence in doing that. They would be happy to answer those very basic questions that people are asking. But what do they do instead? They ban you from their groups, they close your account, and then they keep your money. Because that's what's happened with Rue. That's what happened to me. And that's probably what's happened to a lot of other people. I just happen to be on YouTube. I just happen to have one of the videos that is trending for CashFX right now. So that makes me illegitimate, because I have a $59.99 investment course. That makes me illegitimate. So they try to discredit me as a result of that. But I think ultimately, with the number of videos that are on my channel, anybody who takes a little bit of time to understand and watch my videos, they will get a very good idea of what it is that I'm doing here. It's not to disadvantage anybody or to stop anyone from making money. It's to basically keep people safe and to hopefully be a voice of reason, to let people know that actually some of these things that you're being told is full of absolute nonsense. And you need to be careful, because unfortunately there are opportunists out here. There are a lot of scammers out here who will happily take advantage of you. You have a look at people like Richard Maud, which is being mentioned in the comment section here. Apparently, he's turning over 100K a week or a month or something like that. Do you really think that he cares, or he's going to be honest about, yeah, okay, maybe we're not doing this right? He's not answering any questions. Why? Because he's looking after his own pocket. That's why. And unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. People who are happy to do things take your money from you for their own gain. That's what it all boils down to at the end of the day, guys. And I speak about this a lot, but we do have to be very, very careful and have our wits about us when we come across investment opportunities, particularly when it comes to crypto. All of this time, I've never questioned how you deposit Bitcoin and then end up trading foreign exchange. With everything that's happened with Bitcoin, by the way, so think about this logically. You deposit Bitcoin into it, they then convert that money from Bitcoin to currency, then trade that currency for you on the foreign exchange market, then convert that to Bitcoin to pay you back. All right, this is great when Bitcoin's going up. What happens when Bitcoin tanks, like it has done over the last maybe week and a half? What happens then? How efficient is that? The reason why they want it in Bitcoin, because it's untraceable. The reason why they're paying you in Bitcoin, because it's untraceable. Think about it, guys. Think about it. What Forex company asks you to deposit money in Bitcoin? Like, seriously think about it. What can I say? The more we talk about this, the more absurd it sounds. But people have fallen for this hook, line, and sinker because of the guise of Jojar Dinsa. He's a billionaire, so why would he join it? Well, like, just because a billionaire does something, does that mean that you should do it? Are you sheep? Like, seriously. Are you sheep? And I've actually met Jojo. I had dinner with him. I hosted him at a dinner 2 years ago. Sound enough guy. Sound enough guy. But actually, is he legit? I don't know. I'm not saying that he is. I'm not saying that he isn't. But because he's a billionaire does not mean that he tells me to jump, I'm going to go jump. This is one thing that we really, really need to sort out in our society today. We idolize rich people. We idolize millionaires and billionaires like they've got all the answers just because we envy what they have. Life is a tool. Money is for living. The money of a billionaire doesn't mean that you're going to have a happier life. What do you want at the end of the day? That's what it's all about. It's all about what you want for yourself. That's what it's all about. It's not about what a billionaire has done and how you can copy him to hopefully get what he has. You might not want that. You may be able to live a life that doesn't require you to have billions and trillions in the bank. There's too much an obsession over this. I'm trying to find a picture of me at the dinner table with Jojo, just so that people don't say that I'm actually I'm BSing again, because that's what the CashFX lot are going to be talking about. Oh, Pete, you're making all this up. You don't know anything at all. You're talking out your ass. That's what they've been telling for the last year and a bit. That's what they've been saying to me. But now we know that the FC are now finally going to have taken action. So how does the scheme actually continue to exist? I'm going to scroll through this and actually scroll through my comments as well. I might take a couple of questions if there are any on here. This is a good one. Okay. I tried a few weeks to get my contract cancelled instead of getting my money back. The police came threatening to arrest me. Tomorrow I'm to be questioned by the police under caution for harassment. Well, this is what they do. Unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Now let's talk about what actually happens when you go and cancel your contract with CashFX. What happens is you send them an email, they don't come back to you. And if they do come back to you, they tell you that you lose 50% straight off the bat for canceling your contract. Now, what investment opportunity not only takes 20% of your investment of going in as commission, but when you want to cancel, taxes you another 50% at the back end because you no longer want to be in that deal. Okay? This is me hosting Jojo Dinsa 2 years ago. For anyone who is going to say that I'm BSing, okay? But this is the kind of stuff that happens. It's obscure, completely obscure. You ask questions, you can't get questions. Customer service is non-existent. They tell you to go to your upline. the guy who introduced you in. But guess what? The guy who introduced you into the thing has to go to his upline to get you an answer. So a lot of the time, you're asking questions, you get nothing back. Nothing. I can show so many receipts. And I wish I had them all organized. I didn't know I was going to go this long and talk about it for this long. I just simply wanted to just show what's on the FCA register. But I could show you conversations of people. People have copied me and have sent me screenshots of conversations within their groups that are just really uncomfortable to read. So guys, I just think be careful. If you want to go use them, that's completely up to you. After all, I'm not your mum, I'm not your dad. I'm not the guardian of your finances. You will do whatever you want to do. But I just think you need to be very, 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 very careful. Really, really careful. And now knowing what you know and everything that is out there, you have to seriously question why you would go into something like this. And is it actually worth it? Even more so, you would have to really question why you would invite your friends, your family, because that's where they get you to start, and possibly put them at financial risk as well. Lots of comments here, guys. Let me just scroll through these. Oh, here we go. Isaac. So you slag us off to promote yourself, mate. Listen, watch my channel. People know that I'm not self-promoting here. There's a lot of free content on my channel, mate. Whatever it is that you do. And I guess if I invite you on right now, you wouldn't have the balls to come on and actually have a conversation around what it is that you guys are actually doing. None of you do, ever. Because you're all cowards and you're all scam artists at the end of the day. And actually infuriates me that people like you put on this guise of trying to help people, completely oblivious or intentionally ignoring simple questions that any rational human being would ask about a scheme. Answer a very simple question. Why are there 20 regulatory warnings about your company or what this scheme that you're involved in across the globe? Why? Show us some evidence of trading. This is the questions that people have been asking this whole time. You're happy to open the books to Joe Jardinsa, who's a billionaire, but you're not happy to do that for people who actually have money invested in you? Like, seriously, how trustworthy is that? How legitimate is that? You lot should be ashamed of yourselves. It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. Let's have a look at some of the other things that are in here. You guys have never seen me get this passionate on YouTube. If you follow me on Instagram, I've done Instagram lives where I get very, very passionate. But this kind of stuff really, really riles me up. It really, really does. Because at the end of the day, people get hurt. And the people who have made a load of money, who are in it for the money, are the ones that are essentially the ones who end up laughing with no consequences, even though they know full well that they've ripped people off of their hard-earned cash intentionally. That's the bit that really riles me up. Go and get an honest job. Go work like a normal person. Be a decent human being. Stop talking about this absolute nonsense legacy, blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. An opportunity. Yeah, you're trying to, fight against the system. Stop with the facade and the nonsense. If you really wanted to fight against the system, you would be honest, transparent, upfront. Answer the questions everybody's been asking this entire time. Now that Everfx can no longer provide any regulated activities here in the UK, are you now going to come out and admit that you were never trading in the first place? Because that's the only way the scheme continues to live and operate here in the UK, which proves the point that Rue and I and many people have been saying this entire time. Be honest. Have some integrity. Absolute joke. Oh, look at this idiot. I'm not the company. All right, okay. Well, listen, go to your upline and start asking your upline some legitimate questions and get some answers for yourself. I'm not the company. That's not going to absolve you of the fact that you've probably, and hope that you haven't, introduce people that could potentially lose money in the future if all of this comes crumbling down. You will be blamed for that. You will be blamed for that. And one of the great things that I've not showed you on this is Everfx have to keep information. So if you have been trading by any way, means, or necessary, they could find people actually invested in this. And I don't know what the FCA are going to do. They do have an intelligence team looking into this properly right now. So you're not the company. That's not an excuse, mate. That's a pathetic excuse. And you need to go sort yourself out. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm not the company. Try and do, oh, here we go. Try and do an interview with Haskar. I've invited you guys numerous times on my podcast, on the channel. Have you guys taken me up? No, you haven't. You haven't. But Haskar is more than happy to make reference to me, make reference to Rue in your meetings. Don't listen to the bloggers. Well, guess what? The bloggers are making moves now. The bloggers are the reasons why FCA are now paying attention to this. Okay. I will invite Haskar and anybody, Richard, to come on and talk about what you guys are doing. I've offered that all the way from the beginning. You guys have never taken me up. Instead, everybody within your group have pictures of me and Rue with clown faces on, calling us arse clowns. Okay. That's what you guys have done. That's how you guys conduct yourselves. That's not professional. If you were a professional business and this was a real concern for you, you would come on board onto my podcast, onto the channel just like this and have a conversation. That's what you would do. You would put a press release out to say, this is what we're doing to ensure that we're able to adhere to the UK requirements, to ensure that these regulatory warnings that we have don't impact the confidence that people have in our business. Have you guys done that? No. Because why? You're not a legitimate business. Any legitimate business would do that. But you guys have not done that. You've shunned away from this. You've ignored it, calling people like me scam artists, calling people like me dishonest because I'm talking honestly, given my 15 years experience in the industry where I worked in Canary Wharf, right next to the FCA, by the way. Yeah. Telling me that I have no experience. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I probably know more than most of the guys actually in CashFX right now. Yeah, I've offered this to you guys a number of times. You've not taken me up on it, not once. And I'm going to offer it again. If you guys want to come on, reach out to me. There is an email address at the bottom of all of my videos. Reach out to me. Tell me you want to have a conversation. Instead, what you guys have been doing is you've been sending me emails, threatening me, telling me that I'm full of shit. That's what you guys have been doing over the last year. Not trying to facilitate an honest dialogue or a normal conversation. That's not what you guys have been doing. You guys have been attacking me because I'm simply trying to keep my followers safe. And that's a legitimate business. You should be ashamed of yourself, mate. Let's see what else we've got here. Here we go. I've been told not to be negative and make hay while the sun shines. Just trying to get my money out before it pops. This is someone who's actually in there. This is from somebody within the system. Don't be negative. Make hay while the sun shines. That sounds like a really legitimate business, guys, doesn't it? Yeah? Sounds like a legitimate business. What legitimate business will close an account and keep the money of the person who put the money in like it's their own money? Who does that? Who the hell does that? Talk about legitimate business. Absolute joke. Do you want to come on right now? I'm going to post the link. Let's have a conversation. There's the link right now. Let's go. Here's another comment right here. Any questions I've asked or red flags I've pointed have been ignored, and always Wooly answered was given, then ignored. Yeah, this is the stuff that we've been saying has been happening for months. For months. People are waking up, boys. People are waking up, girls. Elite, you've got the link right there. Come on, let's go. camera on, by the way. Let's see your face. How you doing, Jack?
How are y'all?
What's going on? How you doing?
Good, good.
You turning your camera on?
No, sir.
Why not?
I can't do that.
Why not?
No can do.
Why is that? Are you
Can't.
ashamed to put your face to something?
I can't do that, sir.
All right, let's have a conversation then.
Okay. Let's go ahead,
I know
man.
you're in the States, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you know that this FX regulation thing doesn't affect you in the States. However, CashFX do have SEC warnings against them saying that they can't operate in the States.
Right on.
hmm So what do you want to say, man?
You know what? I use FX, CashFX, and it's amazing, man. Completely amazing. Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Is
No,
that
I promote it like. I really do.
okay?
I've got a few followers.
Okay, how many do you have?
I think about 50.
Okay, so how have you found it working for you, and how much do you make? Obviously, money from it as well. How many people have your 50 introduced into the system?
About 25. But you know what? Like to be, I do agree with your point. Like it is a scam in a way, but like if you're making money, then why not? They're fools for going into it, so you know what I mean.
I appreciate the honesty, mate, but because knowing that it's a scam doesn't mean that you should get people to partake in it just because you make money. At the end of the day, a scam means something that defrauds somebody, or there is a level of dishonesty in it, which means that at the end of the day, somebody has to lose. So you're making money knowing full well that it is a scam and that somebody's going to lose at the expense of you making money. How is that right?
Mm. Of course. I get your point. Yes, I'm in another thing that's very similar to CashFX, but it's actually more like you're selling products, but it's kind of it's a how can you say it's like a pyramid scheme in a way. Like have you heard of XXY?
I haven't heard of XXY, no.
No, it's basically like a health products thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're doing is you're bringing people in, and then they refer other people, and then they get commissions and bonuses for referring people, and then they kind of sell products and stuff to others, and they get their bonuses. You don't really get paid by like your wage or anything. It's kind of like based on referring people. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like there's a lot of these kind of schemes going on, when like a lot of people are falling into it, and especially during these times. Like I know it's sad and stuff, but like a lot of people are making money from it. So
Yeah, I mean, I get you and I understand it. I really, really do. And I wish that I could suggest an alternative, but there isn't one. And this is why these kind of things are so popular and why they grow so rapidly over a period of time. Because, whilst you can make money off it, I just feel very uncomfortable going into anything where, okay, we make money, but somebody at the end of the day has to lose because I'm winning, because I'm making money. That doesn't sit well with me. And I get what you're saying, like it's tough times and people have to do what they've got to do, certainly in the States, because of obviously how difficult it's been out there with, stimulus checks. I completely get it, but I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. So what's the exit plan for you then? When do you see an end to it for you? At which point you say, actually, you know what, I'm out?
Well, actually, for me, I'm kind of on my way out right now because actually I've got no more people to refer in, and I got no income coming in now. So it's just kind of whatever people I've got, and they're kind of losing interest. So like this kind of happened with a thing called Lion Share. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I've heard about Lion Share, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like, I left that kind of after 2 weeks after finding out like no one was interested. They were all saying it was Ponzi schemes and whatnot. Like so. I don't know, man. I think I'll be on my way out soon. But yeah, I got to be honest. Man. I did rip off a couple of people,
All right, man. Listen, I appreciate your honesty. Thank you for coming on, man. I know that obviously it takes a little bit of courage to come online and actually say that. So I do appreciate you. Thank you.
Right on.
Thank you, bro.
Right on. Don't worry.
Oh my God. I don't really know what to say to that, if I'm completely honest. I guess that's the way people think, though, and I trust me, I get it. Right? If you think about where we've been for the last 12 months plus, we've been in lockdown, people really struggling for cash. I get that. I completely get that. I've had someone who messaged me a few months ago on Instagram where her mum was looking at doing something like this. Why? Because, well, there isn't enough in a pension pot, so she's looking at the best way to make money. I completely get it. I completely get it. I do get it. But again, I can't get my head round going into something knowing that somebody else is losing. And look, if I was completely freaking selfish, I could have pumped this when I was at 2,000, 3,000 subscribers and made a shed load of money, because of the 50 people that I introduce, they introduce 50 people. I get paid on everybody that comes into the scheme. I'm not going to do that if I feel as though people are going to lose money. This is really just down to integrity. And I think for me, that's one of the big things that I got from my dad: integrity. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And just be a man of your word. I'm never going to do anything like that. Is it any wonder people used my accounts on Instagram a few weeks ago, literally to perpetrate a crypto scam? I did my best to try and protect people and harbor people from it, letting them know that it wasn't me. But you've got to understand there are opportunists out here all the time. And you have to keep your wits about you. And it can't just be about making money. It can't just be about that. You can't do it at the expense of somebody else. You can't. And I know things may be desperate. I get it. I really, really do. But I don't know, man. Maybe I was born to live in a different time. Let's see what else we got here. Is Isaac still in this room? Because I'd love to have a chat with you, my man. I'm just reading your comments, guys. I'm just going to catch up. Bear me 1 second. Let me just say this, mate. I know what you're saying, Kevin, but it is in my nature to be courteous to people. I think that's the one thing that we can always do and always make sure that we show to other people is courtesy. It doesn't cost anything at all. And just, there's no point in me calling him an a-hole or a dick or anything like that. There's no point. What does that actually do? It does absolutely nothing. If anything, we need to start having these kind of conversations. As difficult as they are, we need to have these conversations, because at the end of the day, people need to be aware that this stuff is happening and people don't care about them. The only thing that people care about is their own pocket. I said this earlier on one of the live streams that I was on with Polina as part of our Spotlight 15 on Instagram. You cannot solely rely on the goodwill of human beings these days. You can't. We are living in an age of social media where it is easy come, easy go. You don't have to do anything to make money. And you know what? Invest in the markets now is just so simple. A 5-year-old could do it. And it completely detracts from the reality that we currently face. And the reality is nothing comes for free. Everything costs something, be that time, be that effort, be that dedication, be that your sweat and your blood and your hard work, your dedication, your passion. It has to cost something, because nothing is free. Isaac,
Hey, mate.
what's going on, mate?
Right.
How you doing?
All right. All right.
All right, mate. So tell me, mate. So you're Isaac Hunt, right? I guess you're not going to put your camera on, no?
No, mate.
All right. Okay. So what's the deal then?
What do you mean, what's the deal?
What's the deal?
Explain.
Yeah. You know what? You're an idiot. I hope this basically really highlights more than anything else how the people who are involved in CashFX actually consider this. They all consider this a joke. To them, it's not serious. And the sad thing is that these guys are the ones who introduce you into a scheme and get you to put your hard-earned cash into something, and they're not even serious about making a rebuttal or making their case or trying to explain or at least demonstrate that they are a legitimate business. Take a minute just to think about that. Just take a minute to think about that and really consider whether you feel that is something worthwhile putting money into. It's really, really, really sad. It really, really is. Rue's on here. Rue's just in the comment section here as well. So I've got a John Smith in here. You know what? I'm not going to give you any time. John, if you want to put a comment in the comment section before I let you in, put a comment in the comment section, because if there's going to be a ton of you are going to be nonces and just come on and try and be absolute idiots, then I'm not going to give you any airtime. And that's just going to be the simple fact. You guys need to really take things seriously when we consider this, because at the end of the day, real people lose money, hard-earned cash. And we can laugh about the £300 because you know what? It may not affect that many people. But when people have huge sums of money invested in these things and people come on and they're clowning about something like it's not a big deal, then that's when you really have to question people's moral centers and whether people feel, that they're actually doing harm and recognize that they're actually doing harm. It's really, really sad. Rue, if you're in the comments, I'd love to have you on here. I know that you're still on, mate, but if you want to come on, I'd love to have you on, mate, because I know that you did your video and I've posted a link to it just so that you can kind of have a conversation around what the conversation you've had with the SMV in Panama as well. 1 second, Kevin. 1 second. Let's see if I can get Rue on. I don't know if he's still here or not. All right, let's get you on, Kevin, just in the meantime. Kev.
Hello.
How you doing, mate?
I'm all right.
Oh, fucking idiot. All right, I'll wait for you, Rue. Cheers, mate. Let's wait for Rue. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this informative. This will stay on the channel, so I'm sure there will be lots of people who actually watch this in replay. And again, I'm going to state it here again. I would happily welcome Hasquar Lopez. I would happily welcome Richard Maud and whoever is in that leadership team in the UK to come on. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I would absolutely love to have any of you guys on to explain or to give your side of the story, because I'm sure I've said it before. There are two sides of the story. I'd love to have you on so that you can express your side of the story to the people. I doubt that you will, though. So let's have a look. Let's just wait and see. You guys haven't done it before. I doubt that you're going to do it now. And I'm very, very interested to see where this basically goes from here. I like this comment. Yourself, Peter Rue, and the folks in the CashFX scam Facebook group deserve an award for your incredible work. Thanks for this. You know what, mate? There's a lot of people in there that have put a lot of work into it. I mean, I got introduced to the group after I did my first video, and I know that there are some very dedicated people in there who do a lot of due diligence and stuff around some of these things. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's all about making sure that we spread the word so that we can keep people safe. We can't capture everybody, and we don't expect everyone to kind of believe what we're saying. But all we're trying to be is a voice of reason in this entire thing. That's essentially it. At the end of the day, we don't control people's minds. We don't control people's purse strings. We don't dictate what they should do. We are simply presenting facts as we see them so that people can go away and make their own choices around what they wish to do at the end of the day. Because people disagree with what I say here on the channel or on my videos does not warrant them giving me abuse, sending me emails, telling me that they'll find where I live and all this kind of nonsense because of a video, because I'm warning people about something that in my experience needs attention. It's an absolute joke. So, right. Let's see. Rue, let me know. Let's try again. Right. Is that you in the comment section right now, Rue? Put a yes for me and I'll turn you on. I need your camera on though. So I'm guessing that's not you. Okay. Can you turn your camera on so I can see you, mate? Backstage. I can't see you, mate. No, I can't see you, mate. Just wait. Let's wait. Let's wait and see. By the way, guys, there's going to be a marathon. I can actually talk about this now. There will be a marathon live session I'm going to do on June 12th. We're going to be covering 5 topics. It's going to be 5 hours. We're going to be talking about money, so just general money tips and all that kind of stuff, how to save money in the high street. I've got a guy called Andy Webb coming on to talk about that. We're going to be talking about crypto, Forex exchange. So again, these are our sessions across 5 subjects. So an hour around money. There will be an hour around crypto, an hour around property. There will also be an hour around Forex and an hour on investing as well. So come along to that. It's going to be June 12th. We're going to kick off around about 11 a.m. roughly. So, and it's going to go for 5 hours, finish around about 4 p.m. altogether. So, yeah. See, now, if you knew how to do this, Rue, because you've been on a live with me before, so you're being an absolute idiot, and I'm not going to let you in, so you're going to get kicked off, because Rue has already been on my channel, and he knows how to work this system and turn his camera on, you absolute idiot. All right, guys, thank you for watching this. If you're watching this on replay, I appreciate you if you made it this far. Trust me, this is an interesting development. And it is one of those ones where, look, please just be vigilant. Share this if you can. If you've come across anybody who's been approached to participate in this, show them this video. Show them the other videos that I've got on the channel. Also show them other videos like mine that are also on YouTube. Get them to watch videos for CashFX and against CashFX. Let them make their own decision at the end of the day. But please do share it, because it's really, really important that we let people know what is actually going on. Okay, 1 second. I do have Rue on here. He's just messaged me on WhatsApp now. Is it worthwhile actually getting back on? I'll give him maybe 5 minutes or so. In the meantime, let's take some stock market questions. If you've got any stock market questions, let's talk. Actually, you know what, mate? Let me just let me just do that. You're off, mate. There you go. The thing is, right? This is where it becomes really, really sad, because someone in an evening like this has time. So what they have to do is they have to go and change their YouTube account name to come up with different usernames. Then they have to go and actually download a picture and upload that. They're doing this all in the background whilst watching me speak, simply to be disruptive. And it's like, you must have better time on your hands. Like, seriously, you must have better time on your hands. But apparently people don't. So what can you actually do? You know, it's one of those situations. It's unbelievable. You know what, mate? I'm not actually too concerned about trolls on the channel, if I'm completely honest, because at the end of the day, it almost adds weight to what we're talking about. Nobody would feel the need to troll something that they feel you would only troll something that maybe goes against what you basically believe, or something that you're doing, because you're trying to discredit it. And the reason why you decide to troll is because you can't discredit it in a legitimate way or in a coherent way. And therefore what you then do is you go about trolling because you've got nothing else to do. And it's sad. It really, really is. But it's one of those things that I find really, really funny. And the more trolls that you have, you get the understanding of how polarizing a subject is. And through that polarization, you also get to the truth as well. You get to the truth of who's talking sense and who's not talking sense. It becomes very, very clear at some point. And I think this evening, part of it would have come really, really clear as a result of that. Maybe people will say, oh, well, the guy that you had come on, he must have been your mate pretending to be American. I don't care. People are going to say that anyway. Trolls will say that. Trolls will absolutely say that. I think it's down to everybody to make their own decisions at the end of the day, because that's what life is all about. All right, go on. I'm just responding to Rue here on WhatsApp. I'm going to log off now because we spent way too much time. Talking about this evening. This is supposed to be a half an hour thing, and it's turned out to be an hour and a bit. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. Again, please do share. I really, really do appreciate every single one of you and the attention that you provide, and the support that you give to the channel as well. But yeah, guys, we'll speak to you video on Friday. I'm working on a couple of projects at the minute, so we're shooting some short films over the weekend that will be coming to the channel fairly shortly. Just broadening the conversation and maybe bringing in other people's kind of like life journeys and perceptions and feelings and thoughts about money and how they plan to utilize money for their own lives. Some quite highly regarded people as well. It's very, very exciting, but you'll hear a little bit more about that later on. But guys, thank you so much. This has really been fun. It's taken an unexpected turn, but have a good evening, whatever it is that you do, and I will see you on Friday.